Hello, folks. Welcome to the PHP. I'm Booker. That's Perez with new hair. How are you?
I'm good. I love my new hair. Actually, I'm feeling very lethargic because I got my booster shot, and I'm grateful that it's not as bad as my second shot many months ago.
Yeah.
I feel lethargic, but it's not as bad. I
Yeah.
think, because that second one was only 3 weeks after the first one. So you just have like a lot more in you, but it was very easy to get. And, I went out with some friends over the weekend, and my best friend is very liberal as well. But both he and I were talking over dinner, and we're like, we're fucking over this mask mandate. Well, especially because he's going to New York City for Thanksgiving, and he was
Yeah.
just there recently. And in New York City, they do not have a mask mandate.
Yeah.
If you're vaccinated, you can go inside a restaurant or a bar and you don't have to have your mask
Yeah.
on.
What they're saying now is that we probably have it like LA, we've went a little too long. But the problem is now the holidays are coming and it's like super spreader season. So we should have maybe had them off for the past couple of months and said, hey, let's buck up here for the next couple of months and go back to it until the first of the year. But now we really need them more than ever, which sucks because I'm with you. I'm so tired of but I was just up north a little bit
Oh
for the
yeah, how
wedding.
was the wedding?
No, it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Indian wedding, which I'd never
In
been to
San
before.
Luis Obispo.
Yes, what a beautiful little town. Beautiful, sleepy beach town. Very, earthy, and it was cool. The wedding was.
It's not really. You could drive there,
It's
right?
3 hours. Yeah, 3 hours. It's a 3 hour drive, but it's beautiful. You drive up the coast. You see you drive through Santa Barbara and
Did you stop in
Monterey.
Montecito?
I did not. Yeah, you see, Pebble Beach. You see all these just beautiful, beautiful beachside cities, and you just drive through it. It's an amazing drive. So the 3 hours goes very quickly. The wedding was beautiful. Watching, the Indian portion of the ceremony, they did something cool. Like they had, like with the invitation, they had sort of like step by step, almost like cartoons, what was going to happen. Because it's a lot of things in Hindu and chanting and shit. I didn't know what was going on, but they actually step by step showed you what was going on, so you could kind of follow along on your program. It was like the tying of the knot. Then there's like a fire that they walk around, and there's all kinds of cool little parts of the Indian ceremony. So I really thoroughly enjoyed being a part of that. Then we did the traditional one the next night, two separate events. It was great.
Did it inspire you to get married?
Yes, I'm getting married.
Really? You heard it here, folks, ladies.
Yes, you heard it here,
first.
folks. It's happening. It's on.
Oh, that's very exciting.
It was nice. It was beautiful. Beautiful time.
I also went to a concert. Although at the concert, I guess I'm not that mad about wearing a mask because you have all these people in like real close proximity.
Well, you're just thinking about germs in general. You're like, I don't want anybody's germs. I like this little protection. I went to the Steelers Chargers game last night at SoFi Stadium. So I came back right from up north onto a stadium afterwards. I had a hell of a beat me down kind of weekend of drinking, but here we are.
I love that. You're busy. Busy's good.
Yeah, busy's good.
I wanted to take my mom with me to Enrique and Ricky Martin, Enrique Iglesias and Ricky Martin, but she did not feel comfortable going.
No.
So then I took my kids, which I thought would be really cool and fun. But unfortunately, my 6-year-old Mia ended up in tears because Ricky Martin got me my tickets. Very kind of him.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I guess fortunately, he gave me too good of seats.
Gotcha.
Meaning the seats were on the floor and everybody was standing up for the whole show.
And you got little ones around you. They're probably overwhelmed.
And she couldn't stand on the chair because that's not allowed. She was crying. She's like, I can't see anything. And I'm like, oh, God. But the best thing was that, it was a double headlining show. Ricky Martin thankfully went on first because he got me my tickets. Mm-hmm. He ended at 9:15. So I'm like, God, Enrique is not going to go on until 9:45. And it was a school night on Thursday. So I'm like, wow. we're gonna leave, kids, because you have school tomorrow. And they didn't want to leave. I'm like, you
parenting.
you were just crying and you don't want to leave. Anyways, we got to shut up because I just remember that I forgot to mention everything we're talking about today. So we are going to get into Britney Spears versus Christina Aguilera. Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a lot Adele, which I'm very excited about. And no, it won't be like that Zane Lowe interview going into every single song. Although I've got to
even
say,
hear that. So I didn't even know he did one. So
oh
there's
my God.
that.
Nobody interviews musicians better than Zane Lowe. I'm sorry to you. Nobody.
Well, no one gets that platform of that amount of time either.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, Oprah did, but that's
Okay.
that's what
Right. Oprah. If you're saying I can't, I get 10 minutes, usually 5 if I'm lucky. You can really not get into it.
But just the way he approaches it, we've spoken about it before. It's like he's like a therapist. He's just so good. Anyways, we're talking Adele. We're going to talk Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello over. We're going to talk Meghan Markle allegedly lying again, plus being all wackadoodle. And of course, we're going to talk official PIM, Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson.
Not a thing, but okay.
But before we really go forward, I mentioned I was out to dinner with a friend. That's because I went to see a musical. If anybody lives in the Los Angeles area, go check out Head Over Heels at the Pasadena Playhouse. You don't really go to musicals, right?
It depends what they are. Is that the Head Over Heels? Is that the girl group Go-Go's?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I think you would love it.
I would totally. I love the Go-Go's. I love their story too. So I bet that is great.
It's not about their story, which is
not?
No, I didn't. Well, the story was fun. It was cute, right? But what really made it was I spoke to the marketing person afterwards because I was curious. They totally changed this from the Broadway version. The Broadway version was a traditional 2-act, 2.5-hour show. This one, they trimmed so much of it. They presented it as a 90-minute musical without intermission. And my favorite thing, they got rid of all of the floor seats at the Pasadena Playhouse and they turned it into a dance floor, and it was an immersive show. So you're moving around and the actors are moving around you, and it's super cool and just good times. How do I want to start this? I'm about to have with you all a very important conversation about Britney Spears.
Okay. I'll bite.
It's bizarre and difficult. And it goes back to something that I've said. While obviously I was wrong, and I admit it, the Free Britney movement was not a bunch of conspiracy theorists. There were a lot of people within that world that were not just acting out of concern. It was acting out of boredom and as a form of entertainment.
Sure.
Britney Spears continues to be very public with her life, and that's her choice. Mm-hmm. She's now free. She can do whatever she wants. But it's complicated when we, the public, especially those of us who are older and have a little bit more understanding, when we see and know that she still has these mental health issues and she is so public and she wants the attention. But if we were all a nun and a priest or a therapist, right?
Right.
If we were all the most altruistic, we would all say the best thing for Britney Spears is if we all ignored her and let her live and be and truly leave Britney alone, right? And heal. But what do you do when you're the media, when you're me, and all the other media that covered the Christina Aguilera situation over the weekend, or what she said about her mother as well? What do you do when you have an undeniable A-lister one of the most famous people all over the world, decades later, and one of the people that is most talked about. There were all these documentaries about Britney Spears this year. What do you do when this person clearly wants attention? It's really hard to ignore.
Yeah.
And you can talk about it in a compassionate way, in a kind way, but I'm going to reveal the veil. I know that talking about it is not serving Britney. I know that's not what is best for her. But then I'm also not talking about it in a way that's destructive, that's mean, that's nasty, that's cruel, that's hurtful. So is it my job? Is it the job of the media to do what is best for Britney Spears? And one more thing. And is it also the job of her, quote, concerned fans to do what is best for Britney Spears? Because it's not just the media. It's just as much the fans. The fans should ignore these very public acts of wanting attention and attention seeking.
Okay.
So what should I do? What should the fans do?
First of all, everything you said was so well said. And I applaud you for actually going down that rabbit hole and thinking those thoughts through, because it's everything I've wondered from day one. You hear how agitated I get because I know everything that you just said is factual. It's factual. This doesn't help. This is not helping that poor woman out. This is commerce. This is clicks. This is not helping a bad situation. And I've said that from day one. And to answer your question, I don't know how. I don't know how you do. I think that there's two sides of this coin. You have a responsibility because you are a journalist, but you also need to have a responsibility as a human being, covering it as a journalist and covering it the right way. Getting back to Christina Aguilera, you mentioned her and how she called her out, and maybe you'll get into that story.
I will.
You'll get into that.
But I just wanted to talk about the bigger picture first.
Look, I think the way you're coming at it with compassion and understanding and knowing all of this stuff, you're on the right track. You know what I mean? I don't know if there's an answer. The answer is what you said, ignore. And it's kind of what I've been doing. And I've been trying to tell these whack jobs, you don't know. You don't fucking know what's going on there. I know one thing, something's wrong. And it makes me sad inside. And it always has. And my sadness usually comes out through anger, because that's just me. I'm an asshole. But it has made me angry. It's because I'm like, you dopes don't know what is going on with this poor young lady. And please, let's just stop and let's just try to not, let's just let everything play out. And you're saying the right things is my answer to you.
All right. Thank you. But, and the thing that's also like, you know, that term, like an apologist, like the Britney apologists are frustrating because yes, she's been through a lot. She is a victim. She's suffered a lot of trauma. It's absolutely normal for victims to be angry, to seek revenge, to be coming from a place of trauma in their healing. But that does not mean that everything that Britney does is okay. That doesn't mean she's always going to be right. And you see all of these fans that are these Britney apologists that make excuses for all of this bad behavior.
Right.
Or not. I'm not even calling it bad behavior. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be very mindful with how I'm talking about it. All of this behavior.
We know what you mean.
Yes.
We know what you mean. Non-traditional,
or
maybe not coming from the healthiest placed behavior.
Or just behavior that's not correct. Like, all right, let's get into the Christina Aguilera situation. Coming after Christina the way she did, that's one of the things I meant by, quote, bad behavior. It's not bad behavior, but I think it's misguided. That's a much better way of talking about it. So on Thursday night, Christina Aguilera was at the Latin Grammys.
Latin Grammys, yeah.
I was gonna say the Billboard Latin Awards, but whatever. The Latin Grammys in Las Vegas. She performed and she was being interviewed on the red carpet. And it's bizarre because she kind of made it into a bigger to-do, right?
Yeah.
Which was surprising because Christina is 3 decades into her career.
Yeah, you're right.
She is a seasoned professional.
Yeah. She should be able to bow out at any question with utter grace without even having to think about it. You can make a non-headline, you could turn it around and just make it about yourself. And there's my answer.
Exactly. So, did you watch the short clip that led to everything? Okay. Yes. So, a journalist, understandably, I would have asked about Britney too, because they're former co-workers, former collaborators.
Well, they'll be tied together forever. They perform together at the VMAs.
Exactly.
I mean, they've been part of iconic moments together and seem to be comrades in all of this. And
so that I don't think that was an uncalled for question, but when Christina heard it, you may have missed it because it was kind of quick. As soon as she heard it, she looked over at her publicist, like, get me out of this. Like, she gave her rep the sign.
The look, yeah.
The look, exactly.
I get the look all the time.
Exactly. She did that. And then she answered the question anyways. She said, I'm happy for her. She could have just said, I'm happy for her. And I'm happy that I'm here tonight to perform.
Right.
And that is the cue to the journalist. Oh, okay. Christina just shut me down.
We're not going there. I was shut down.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
And any good journalist would stop in that moment, So Christina mishandled it as well, but not a big deal.
It's not. And by the way, it is okay for Christina to get frustrated. This is Christina's time. This is her Grammys, if you will. This is her night. She doesn't want to be talking about somebody else. It's about that artist when you're talking to them. And as an interviewer, you have to be cognizant of it. But as you just said, you also have to say, okay, I just read the room. She shut me down. Let's get to what she wants to talk about. I get it. People are looking for the click. They're looking for the bait. They're looking for what everybody's going to talk about. And this person got it.
Yeah.
This person got it. This person did their job.
Yeah. And Britney, I guess Britney viewed it as a snub, obviously, because that upset her. She took to Instagram story and she wrote the following, quote, I love and adore everyone who supported me, but refusing to speak when you know the truth is equivalent to a lie. 13 years being in a corrupt, abusive system, yet why is it such a hard topic for people to talk about? I'm the one who went through it. All the supporters who spoke up and supported me, thank you. Yes, I do matter. And Britney wrote that over the video of Christina Aguilera. She shared the video and she wrote that. First of all, Christina does not owe Britney anything, and especially not at that time nor that place. And because Christina didn't speak about it how Britney wanted, when Britney wanted, does not mean Christina has been unsupportive.
That's
in
true.
fact, she has been supportive. And
by not saying anything, I would say that makes you supportive because you're not fueling the story and you're not interjecting yourself and you're saying, I hope the best for her. I'm happy for her. That is support right there. If you see things clearly, getting back to what you really started with, that is true support, not talking, saying nothing. That is sometimes when you know there are things going on. So good for Christina Aguilera not even expanding. I mean, she's taking heat from the misinformed and the people that don't really see the big picture when you pull back the lens a little bit.
And she, in June, I saw this. I think it was not just on Twitter, but she might have posted something on Instagram. I definitely saw it on Twitter and I retweeted it in June, a few months ago. Christina Aguilera sent out a series of tweets supporting Britney Spears. Very eloquent, thought out, and truly supportive. I mean, maybe Britney didn't see that, whatever. Maybe also there's some, element of Britney
Memory,
wanted the
not forgetting,
attention.
or being well. There's also the element of she doesn't remember, or she was in a different state of mind when that happened. It's
Or Britney, loves drama, and Christina's a former foe, and they've had a long-standing rivalry. What surprised me is that here's a little, oh God, don't make a clip of this, but it's not a big deal. Oh God, I'll say it anyways. Here's some insider information.
okay.
A while ago, we all heard and saw that Britney's longtime manager. Okay, a lot of insider information right now. I'm spilling the tea. Woo. Okay, two parts. First of all, a while ago, we read and saw that Britney's longtime manager, Larry Rudolph, announced that he was quitting, which I thought was suspect because even if Britney didn't want to perform anymore, you look at all the dead artists that make so many millions of dollars a year.
Yeah.
A manager still has to manage all of that. But Larry Rudolph said, you know what? All of this drama
not
is
worth my time. Yeah. It's not worth my
peace out. Having said that, Britney still has a team, and she still has publicists that she's paying, and she's still working with the same publicist. And we published on my website an article about a story based on these documents that somehow leaked, where the not conservator, but the woman that was working as the conservator, Jody Montgomery, presented all of these quote suggestions or guidelines for Britney. They're not rules. And we had called the headline "More Rules," and her publicist called me saying, hey, can you change the headline? Because they're not rules. They're just suggestions for Britney. So I just shared that to let you all know she still has a publicist, and you would think, and I'm sure the publicist for Britney probably did say, by the way, Christina has been supportive. This is what Christina said, but Britney chose to keep that up.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, Britney was made aware that Christina was.
Could have been after the fact, though. Could have been after the post.
Yes.
After the fact. Right.
No, that's what I'm saying. She was made aware after the fact, but she didn't take it down, is what I'm trying to get at. She didn't remove it from her Instagram story. Anyways, after being made aware, that's a publicist's job. Britney's publicist let her know. And that was a little disappointing to me that she didn't take it down after being made aware. Whatever, she's got her reasons. The second little bit of insider information, I'm 99% sure after a long courtship and working for it, that Lady Gaga's manager, Bobby Campbell, is going to be Britney's new manager. So you heard that here first.
Interesting.
Finally,
Thirdly,
before we move on, another related Britney story, and then we'll wrap up. Britney's mother recently flew out to Los Angeles, Lynn Spears, and tried to go see Britney before the conservatorship ended, and Britney refused to see her mother. She has no desire to have her in her life at this moment. In fact, as you might have seen, after that, Britney a few days ago took to Instagram and put her mom on blast and said that her mother's awful. Basically, she teased about doing an Oprah Winfrey interview and said, quote, honestly, it still blows my mind every day. I wake up how my family and the conservatorship were able to do what they did to me. It's demoralizing and degrading. I'm not even mentioning all the bad things they did to me, which they should all be in jail for. Yes, including my church-going mother.
Wow.
I mean, that's major.
If Oprah does an interview, will you think differently of Oprah? Because
if Oprah doesn't interview,
if does her interview, like Oprah would host an interview with Britney, knowing everything that we know there's something going on. Is that a bad look?
Is it a bad look? Yes.
For Oprah, it is, right. Okay. I wanted to make sure we were on the same page there.
because I would expect more from Oprah. Oprah is, so evolved and in tuned with healing and all of that. And I would think Oprah would know that. I mean, maybe if she did
What if she makes an attempt to be like, I could smooth this over. I will Oprah this situation. I think that's all horseshit, by the way. I think it's all down to clicks and money and commerce. I see through all that shit constantly. But
I would say it's the timing. Okay. Maybe if she does it in a year. Okay. All right.
And if nothing happens during that year.
Right.
It calms down.
Yes. If Britney is on the path of recovery and is healing, but if she were to do something now or even in January, I would be like, Oprah, I love you. I'm an atheist.
Yes, this is true.
But no.
Okay.
So, all right. That's a wrap on that. So I was talking about Meghan Markle and somebody said that I was bullying her. And this is a recurring theme that I need to clear up. Many people out there are under the misconception that if somebody publicly expresses an opinion that is critical, that is bullying. And I could not disagree with that more.
Well, in fact, you have a platform though, like someone regular Joe Public. That's one thing. Perez Hilton, celebrity blogger. You
seriously are about to say that if I express an opinion that's critical.
Not always, but in some instances, yes, I can see their point of view. Sure.
Well, I disagree with you as well.
Well, you think you're just a regular Joe Schmo.
No, well, even though I'm not, anybody with a platform expressing an opinion in a way that's not mean.
No one's asked you, but that's the problem is nobody's asked you. And that's where you're not seeing the line.
Do you not understand what show you're on? Do you not?
No. I understand what show I'm on. I'm just trying to offer you that other side, the other perspective of this that you constantly fail to see. That's all. Well, that's it.
I see it and I don't agree with it.
Okay, then that's fine. Then you don't agree. Good for you.
Or even let's go back to Oprah. Oprah might express a critical opinion and nobody's going to be accusing Oprah of bullying if she provides or some people might or whatever. It's people in this world, like in college, are you going to be all upset and cry if your professor gives you an F or if your professor is critical of something you said in class or did, or in the workforce? Having your performance reviewed.
Come on, get to the point.
Whatever.
You're winding on here for no reason.
Well, because you winded me up. I was going to get to the point, and then you stupidly sidetracked me.
Okay,
anyway,
you're bullying me now.
You deserve it a lot of the time.
Okay.
Anyways, I was talking about Meghan Markle's appearance on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and there was a lot to take in there. Did you watch that, or did you read any of the headlines? Well, there's a lot to discuss. One of the things, she shared a story about when she was a quote broke actress.
Okay.
And she was allegedly so broke that she was driving around this malfunctioning car, a Ford Sport, I think it was. That's a car, right? That's an actual car.
No, it has to be like Taurus Sport or Fiesta Sport, or that's just like the sub category.
Whatever. She was driving around some car, and the door didn't open. The driver's side door didn't open. So she was talking about how she would enter through the trunk. And this is what I wrote. I said, Meghan Markle's car story is so odd. If the driver's side door stopped opening, why didn't she use the passenger side door?
That's not bullying, by the way. That is just common sense. It's a good question. Why would you go through the trunk?
That was a question that I posed. Then I said,
good question. That's a very good question.
Then I said, crawling through the trunk seems highly unnecessary, ... and not real, ? So
it is unbelievable. Right. Maybe it happened once, she was parked up against something. She couldn't open
she
the door.
made it seem like this is something that happened regularly.
Like you wouldn't park your car that close to something else where you couldn't open the door. Or like once I could see that happening. Once.
So then this person on Twitter said, "You are such a bully."
Oh, quit responding to dummies on Twitter.
That's
not a bullying situation. That's just pointing out, like, why not use the other door?
No, but listen I can be objective. I cast doubt on what she said. Okay. I, in a non-bullying way, posed the question, is Meghan Markle a liar? Some people might think that's bullying, but I felt compelled to preface this conversation by saying casting doubt or being critical inherently does not make you a bully. So I don't think that those two questions that I posed, how I posed them, is bullying. And I have doubt. I don't know if she's believable in this situation.
I love that you've wasted this much time with one person on Twitter that said you're bullying her.
Well, it's not one person. She's got a lot, in a way, there's a similarity to Britney Spears. Like Meghan Markle, because a lot of people, and rightly, I would say she's been through a lot over the last few years. A lot of people view her as a victim. And in the past, she's spoken about herself as a victim. Mm-hmm. So she has a very engaged, passionate community of supporters. So this is one person that speaks for many. There's many people that echo that sentiment of that person that tweeted me. So be careful how you speak about Meghan Markle, okay? So there was that. Do you have anything to add about the story or whatever?
No, I want to hear the story. That
was the story. Do you have anything to add?
I believe you. I would read that story and I would say, sure, that happened. But I love that you followed up with what's wrong with the other door. That's just funny to me. It really is. Like, I know. What was wrong with the other door?
What was wrong with the other door? I don't know.
It's a good question.
Anyways, it was a pretty long interview or segment or appearance, I should say, because it wasn't just the interview. She also did one of those Oprah hidden earpieces where Oprah tells Meghan Markle what to do.
Oh, I did hear that. She was playing it and I heard some of it and it was funny,
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing is, if you read everything that Meghan Markle did, it seems wild and crazy. Like she drank from a baby bottle and she was acting like a kitten and she was putting a crystal to her forehead, like she has healing powers and all these things. On paper, it's dumb AF, but a lot of these Meghan Markle haters probably didn't even watch it, right? Like they just will hate on her without even watching it.
Yeah.
I watched the segment and it was really funny. It was really funny. It was ridiculous. And it was really funny. And I get it. I understand, like some of these royal watchers are purists and they think, Kate Middleton would never. That is so beneath. And she wouldn't. Kate Middleton would never. But Meghan Markle is not Kate Middleton. And she's redefining what it means to be a royal. And she's not a working.
It means you act goofy.
Yeah.
It used to be classier. Now it's just like, I'm just like everybody else. Like people don't want her to be like everybody else. They're like, but is she a royal because they stepped away?
Well, she's still a royal. She's just not a working royal. Okay. She's not a senior royal anymore, but she's still part of the royal family. So she's still a royal.
Okay.
That's the way you
I didn't know if
it.
they like denounced it because they didn't want a title and all this other shit.
No. The Queen has explicitly said, and I think she even used the word beloved or important. She said, Harry is still a beloved or important part of my family. So
gotcha.
They're still a part of the royal family. She's still a royal, but she's not a working royal or a senior royal. Gotcha. And like we said before, like you've said, like I've said, she's just a celebrity now. Mm-hmm. And this is what a celebrity would do. So, the appearance.
I just find her to be non-interesting. That's the problem with her. Like she's just not that interesting. I don't, but I wouldn't necessarily say Kate Middleton's interesting either. She's just a royal, You know, like if you're comparing her to the other royals, she's just not that interesting. I've never heard her really say anything very profound. It's always about her and her feelings and how she feels. It's not really about that. It's just a
Well,
different
who
sort
is
of.
interesting to you? What celebrity is interesting to you?
Well, Adele's interesting to me. I think there's a lot of celebrities that are
I mean, it's not really
interesting.
fair to compare though, because she's not trying to be interesting. She doesn't need to be interesting.
Then why is she doing these coffee shop bits where she's putting crystals on her head? She's looking for attention. I mean,
Well, fine. Yeah, she's a celebrity. She needs that.
I don't think Kate Middleton does.
No, she doesn't like. They don't really do
right.
interviews.
Yeah.
The senior royals. Anyways, Meghan Markle's
All very self-consuming to me is what it's just very look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me for no reason. Just keep looking at me. Like, why am I looking at you? Is something interesting about to fall out of you? Not so far. So that's where I am with it.
Meghan Markle's half sister, Samantha Markle, put Meghan on blast. She claims that she lied about that. It was an Explorer, by the way.
Okay, Ford Explorer. That makes sense.
All right. Meghan Markle's sister says it wasn't a beat up old Explorer. That was drama. I think she just wants people to think she roughed it as an actress. She never roughed anything with our dad. He paid for her insurance, her vehicles, her classes. He made sure she had a pretty cushy life, says her sister.
Whoops.
I mean,
from a family member.
I mean, the sister could be lying. I don't know. You know,
yeah.
You're always the one who plays.
Hey, I'm not.
Devil's advocate.
I tend to believe that little slice of life fact more than I do, just because of the point you made. Why not use the other door? I smell bullshit. So there you go. And I smell bullshit.
All right. And finally, drama. I don't even know what my opinion is. Let me just say it and then see if my opinion comes to me. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were invited to spend Christmas with with his family in the UK, and they are not going to go. Is that the right move? Especially given the fact,
that's their own family decision, I guess.
Yeah, especially given the fact that they would always, Harry, all the royals, the senior royals, they always spend Christmas with the Queen. That's just what you do.
Right.
And, he didn't go last year because of COVID. And now he's not going to go this year. How is that? Here we go. Here's my opinion. Here we go. In the infamous Oprah Winfrey interview, Prince Harry alleged that he wants to work on his relationship with his father and his brother, which is very strained. How is he making things better by not going? Isn't going an opportunity to work on your relationship with your family?
It's a fair point, but sometimes maybe distance and air between everything helps out a little bit too. So maybe, just maybe, he's reading the room and saying enough time hasn't passed, and let's let this thing calm down a little bit. Maybe. I don't know. I tend to agree with you. If there's a problem, especially with family, like real family, like your goddamn, right next to you, brother, sister, parents, whatever family, you'd think you'd want to nip that in the bud sooner than later. You're not guaranteed to be here longer than, this moment that you're in. So I agree with you, but that would, I guess, could be the answer.
Well, I don't think he really wants to make things better with his family. There we go. I said it. I never believed him. I never believed him.
I think there's better business in it being strained. I think that's one of the only things that's interesting about either one of those nitwits. There's nothing interesting about them. There isn't. I mean, I said it. There's nothing interesting about these people. It's interesting that they're fighting with the family. That's interesting. Keep that ball rolling.
No, what's so funny is you think she's boring. He's even more boring than she is.
Yeah. I expect him to be, though, because you've had a whole life of just that sort of treatment and that sort of understanding of the world. You've never seen the world through a different lens. At least she has. She did come up as an actress, as a wannabe.
Well, no,
now she's a somebody.
And she was an unknown actress and struggling.
I mean, even when she made it, she was still an unknown actress. I mean, Suits wasn't exactly an Emmy-winning show or anything.
Yeah, no.
Like I said, I did watch it though and enjoyed it.
But she didn't even get that show until she was in her 30s, is what I'm getting at. So she lived 3 decades as a normal person
and was divorced, and there's a whole backstory there that maybe could be interesting. We're not hearing that though.
All right. Enough about them. Let's talk about some more British people. Adele. So I think it was last week we spoke about the Adele TV special, and neither Booker nor I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
But then last night there was an Adele TV special in the UK, and that I think I didn't watch it all, but I already could tell it's much better because first they invited regular fans. And not just regular fans, super fans.
Like those criers like I wanted?
Yep.
Good.
And second, there was this great moment where, there were some celebrities in the audience, and Emma Thompson asked Adele if there was anybody in her past that really inspired her. And Adele started sharing this story about one of her former English teachers. And then the teacher surprised her and was there.
Oh, wow.
And Adele was truly surprised, and Adele was crying and like,
that sounds awesome.
It was so good. So I could tell that, and like I said this last week, I was like, just because I didn't love this TV special doesn't mean I'm not going to love the album. I have every faith and confidence in Adele. And before the album came out, she released this really lo-fi YouTube video of her singing this song, To Be Loved.
Saw that.
She just put on the radio at her house and sang over it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, holy shit. This is 100 times better than anything she did at the CBS special at Griffith Observatory.
Yeah.
So I'm sure by now everybody who loves music has listened to the new Adele album. I'm sure you have too, right? While you were driving up and down.
I actually, we were on a Taylor marathon, but I did hear it. As soon as it came out that night.
This past weekend, you were listening to Taylor still and not Adele?
I'm totally into the new releases. Like, you got a 12-minute song about a 3-month relationship with Jake Gyllenhaal. The song's longer than the goddamn relationship was. It's fucking hilarious. It's like an opus. It's amazing, but it's really, it's interesting. Well, but I still think she's just covering herself, and it's, but it's cool. If you I'm a fan. So, look, I got my Taylor Swift mug and,
Well, on the other hand, I don't think I've ever listened to a new album after its release as much as I have Adele's new album. And one of the reasons for that is it's only 12 songs.
Mm-hmm. I got to be in the mood for Adele, though. Like, to me, that's not driving music.
Oh, I drove to Pasadena this weekend, and it took me an hour and 1 minute to get there.
Well,
it's an hour and 1 minute it took me 30 minutes to get back, but it took me an hour. I was able to listen to the entire Adele album and then some again driving there. Anyways, let me just get to my thoughts on it. All right, like I've loved Adele from the very, very beginning of her career, before she had any buzz at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the best album Adele has ever released. I could not love it more for so many reasons.
Let's not do all of them since we're already very late into the show.
It's all good.
I have things to do.
All right. Well, we can skip calls. We don't need calls.
No, we always do calls. We don't skip the format of the show, Perez. We keep with we shorten our breaks about things that people don't really care about, like your synopsis of every Adele song. I'm
not going to give a synopsis of every Adele song, but I also don't want to like rush Adele. Anyways, I love it.
I will be trimming Adele.
Well, fine. YouTube will not be trimmed. That's why I
Or
prefer the
watched.
YouTube version.
Or watched.
All right. Anyways, it's my favorite Adele album because it's truly the most personal, I think, the most bare, raw. Like when she put her son on that song, I'm like, wow, she really let us in. Like she really went for it in every way. Like we hear her crying in one of the other songs. Not only is it the most personal, but it's also still highly universal, like Hold On and other songs that like we could all relate to that. And she pushed herself. Like sonically, this album is a little bit all over the place. Like there are some songs off this new Adele album that I could hear hip hop stations playing, like All Night Parking. You know, there were some songs, there were like two recurring sonic influences in my mind hearing it: Jill Scott and Sade. And I've never gotten Jill Scott or Sade from Adele before. So I love that. And not sonically, but one of my top 3 albums of all time is Fumbling Towards Ecstasy by Sarah McLachlan.
It's funny. I was thinking about that album this weekend.
One of the best albums of all time.
It's a brilliant album. Yeah, agreed.
This album reminds me of that in that every time, and I've listened to the new Adele album like 20 times. Every time I listen to Fumbling Towards Ecstasy and every time I listen to 30, I hear something new.
Yeah, you pick up something different. Yeah.
That's what makes
the
it
sign of a good album. Yeah.
Yeah. I hear something new, either a lyric that did not stand out before or how she sings it. I mean, the way she sings it is a form of songwriting too. I could not love it more. What are your thoughts on the album?
Like I said, I didn't listen to it enough to really get I wasn't in the mood to listen to it. Adele's a certain type of mood that I got to be in. I'll get to it. I'm sure
you were
great.
Driving for 3 hours.
I wanted to stay awake while I was driving for 3 hours. That's not driving music.
You remind me of that Australian. Did you not even listen to it?
I did. I swear to God, I skipped through it the night that it came out. Then I even read an article about it that I want to say that Billboard wrote about their favorite tracks. And I took a listen to their favorite track of the album. I was like, well, this is my least favorite so far. So like I said, it's going to change. Easy on Me is like so much different. Take It Easy or whatever the fuck the name of the song is like a different song completely to me than the first couple of times that I heard it. Like it's got a whole new life to me now.
Yes, yeah, me too. Me too.
But, you know, Fumbling Towards Ecstasy probably did that for me as well. I mean, that's a brilliant album.
That you remind me of, but not really, because you did listen to it. Did you hear that story about that Australian interviewer?
Mm-mm.
This Australian interviewer flew all the way to London where Adele was doing some promo to interview her. The network that he worked for had the exclusive Australian interview rights for this album. Allegedly, I didn't even know this. I don't know if this part is true. This part could be fake, but allegedly they paid Adele $1 million.
Wow.
I don't know about that, but I mean, maybe if they turned it into some TV special, right? If it's like some concept,
I could see that.
Yeah. If it's
CBS should have, that should be the bare bones minimum she made for that CBS show. I mean, you know, 9 million people watched it. I mean, that's a good number.
By the way, more people watched the Adele CBS special than watched the Oscars this year.
Yeah, but big deal. Nobody's watching the Oscars either. I mean, but we're celebrating about, you know, an episode of Big Bang Theory used to do 23 million a night. Okay, so let's calm down. You know, so SEAL Team does 10 million people a night. You know, I mean, there's so many crappy shows that do that number. So it's not that impressive. But when you put it against, hey, one person beat all of those people at the Oscars, that is kind of interesting. But once again, the Oscars format is beat to death. Nobody cares. And no one watches movies right now. So that's where we are as a society.
Anyways, the journalist from Australia went to London, interviewed Adele, did the sit down chat, which was only supposed to be 20 minutes. And it ended up being 29, the journalist said. And then at the end of the interview, Adele asked the journalist, so what did you think of the album? And he said, well, I actually haven't listened to it yet. I've only heard Easy on Me. And when Adele found out, she canceled the interview, did not allow them to air it.
Wow.
Allegedly, the guy claimed.
Was this before the album came out?
It was before the album came out.
Okay, well, that's not his fault.
Well,
That happens to me all of the time where I have to interview an artist and I literally have to tell them, they didn't send me a record.
No, but that's the thing. They did send the guy the record.
Oh, they did. Okay.
And he just did not get the email or
how do they not check that? Because they're all watermarked and you could tell how many times it's even been listened to.
No, well, that's what I'm getting at. If I'm interviewing Adele and if it's like the day before and I have not gotten the music by that point, I'm going to be like reaching out to her team. Like, where's the music?
Where's my music? I have work
tomorrow.
to do.
Exactly.
How am I going to do this interview without knowing the music? But I've had to do it before myself. These albums, they put them under lock and key and I'm like, who am I giving it to? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not sending it to anybody. I have a career to protect, but it happens.
That is on him. All right.
You're right.
Adele made this request of Spotify that she wanted them to remove the shuffle button, which honestly, I think that's annoying. I think they should remove the shuffle button the first time you listen to it, but after you've listened,
you listen how you want to listen. I don't
exactly. Exactly.
It's so silly.
No, if she wants the shuffle button removed, it should be okay. The only way to
should be an option for her. That's it, but not for me. I pay for Spotify and how I use it, not how she wants me to use it.
No.
Come on.
So that was annoying. And before we move on, Adele said she's not going to tour this album. She does have 1 or 2 shows in London next summer in Hyde Park. Mm-hmm. But that just leads me to believe that the rumors are true, that she's going to do a Vegas residency, which I'm very excited about.
Yeah.
Also, Taylor Swift's new album or new re-record for Red is the #1 album this week. She now ties Barbra Streisand for the woman with the most #1 albums on the Billboard chart of all time. They each have 10 albums.
If you would have said to me, who is she tied with, and given me, I don't know, 50 tries, I don't think I would have been able to say Barbra Streisand. I didn't know she had that many albums that sold that many copies. And this is back in the day of albums, like, real sales, not some bullshit consumption, like real sales.
Well, back in the day. I mean, and also you're not that old, but Barbra Streisand was like the shit back in the day. I'm talking about like the 60s.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the 60s, like she was doing Central Park.
Yeah. But it's funny, like in my mind, I know she's big. The music to me, I just don't know the music that well. It's like 1 or 2 songs that I know. That's all. I just wouldn't have guessed. I probably would have, I would have went Madonna. I would have, thrown Taylor Swift in there. I would have, I would not have gotten to Barbra Streisand.
Taylor
Beyonce.
Really worked for it. She's so smart. And not only is she smart, but she's so hardworking. You know what I found out? Taylor Swift hand signed, not an auto pen, hand signed copies of her album and sold it on her website. That's hardcore. So if you're a hardcore fan, you can buy them. Wow. All right, let's move on quickly, wrapping things up. Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello broke up. Well, according to the latest information we have, Shawn dumped her. Mm-hmm. He dumped her. He initiated the split.
Gotcha.
He's the one who said he wants to break up. So that's dumping her, right?
Initiated the breakup. Use whatever adjective you like.
And I'm so happy for them because they can now explore and pursue other paths that might make them happier.
I can totally read between the lines of what you just said. You're the fucking asshole, not me.
What? I
Don't
didn't
give me
say
this what
anything.
shit. Don't give me this what. I didn't say anything.
I did not say anything.
Bats, I know what the fuck you're saying.
No, I didn't say anything. All I said was
You have that shit-eating grin on your face. I know what you're thinking. I know.
You do not know what I'm thinking.
Oh,
what
I know exactly.
No, you don't. What I'm thinking is Shawn was not happy in the relationship, and I just want him to be happier.
Let's all remember who's the asshole on this show, okay, and who's not. It's right, that fucking guy right there.
You
don't tell me you weren't thinking that. Don't tell me that thought just popped into my fucking head, and everybody knows what we're talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. You have the worst lie face ever. You're a lie face.
Anyways, in happier
my favorite moment ever.
In happier couples news, Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson have gone official, and not only official, like he's now part of the family. Like the Kardashian clan helped celebrate Pete's birthday at their house in Palm Springs. Kris Jenner threw the party for him. They were all wearing matching pajamas and blah, blah, blah. And then they were infamously spotted by the paparazzi holding hands. And, you know, going back to what I said about Meghan Markle, and if you don't watch something, it's a different thing. Looking at the photos of Kim and Pete is different than watching the video. Did you watch the video of the hand holding?
No, I didn't.
Happened in a split second. Happened so quickly. And the video was so awkward. I'm like, that's the most awkward hand holding I've ever seen. Clearly, they're not going to last. But this thought popped into my head. And it's, you know, either Kim is doing it consciously or Kim in conjunction with Kris. But this whole Pete Davidson thing is a great distraction from all of the Travis Scott drama. True. We're not talking about it anymore.
It's true.
Because that's such a huge story that if it weren't for Kim and Pete, we would probably still be talking about it, actually. Yeah. So
I don't see this as real in any way, except for that they're really thirsty people and they get that this is really good commerce. And I think you can fall in love with the idea of this attention, right? Like this is old hat for her. It truly is. For him, yeah, you're with Ariana Grande. She's huge too. And that was the beginning of it. But that was
dated so many others as well.
Yeah. But that was the first like real taste of super celebrity. Every door opens for you. And this is the same thing.
He was also with Kate Beckinsale,
Kaya Gerber,
Margaret Qualley. He can only date famous girls. Yeah. Anyways, I pray that this report is not true. But according to a new report, Kim Kardashian is working on a stand-up comedy tour. She wants to play arenas doing comedy. And people would go see it. I find it funny
already.
Yeah.
So
people would go see it like they went to go see Charlie Sheen when he went on tour during his Tiger Blood days.
Yeah.
She could sell out arenas, I would imagine. Good idea?
I don't know what she'd talk about.
It'd be stand-up. She'd be doing comedy. She's got a lot of material.
It is not easy doing stand-up.
No.
It is not something you can learn overnight, and be good at it. So I don't see it.
Well, before we move on, I got to give credit where credit is due. Although Kim Kardashian helped 130 Afghan refugees flee the country. ... And she made sure to let us know that she did this in collaboration and thanks to money from her Skims shapewear company.
Don't care. No, I mean, I don't care that she's putting the plug in because the ultimate thing was something great happened from it. So if she expects a plug because she got 130 Afghans out of hell, I'm very happy. So fuck it, go buy Skims. I have no problem
But
with
she
that.
has so much money. She did not need to use that as an opportunity to plug
Okay,
Skims.
but listen, these companies, she doesn't really own them. Like Travis Scott, we found, doesn't really own that tour. All of these things are just their name on things. So in partnership with these people that use her name, they expect things back. And that's what I see here. Ultimately, I don't care. If you want to be a big whore and whore yourself and everything out of your brand, fine. I mean, this is America. It's capitalism. That's what it is. But if you're even doing it for a good cause, kudos. Go buy some Skims. I have no fucking problem with that.
All right. Well, it reminds me of this incident that happened recently. Jeff Bezos, the CEO or the head honcho over at Amazon, was at a fancy schmancy charity gala here in Los Angeles. And he donated $500,000. And when it was announced that Jeff Bezos, who is worth countless billions, hundreds of billions, when it was announced that he donated $500,000, this hoity-toity crowd of celebrities and really rich people groaned and like booed him basically for only donating $500,000.
Well, that's just funny. I mean, that's just funny. That's almost funny. Like, yeah, that's funny. You know, it's once again a sweet thing that he did.
Yeah,
and it is funny that people are like, "Oh, really, Jeff? That's all you could do." I don't know. That's comical to me. I don't have a problem with that.
Well, speaking of comical, Demi Lovato has come out with a vibrator. So
that's where we are now, huh?
Whenever you want to come, you can think of Demi Lovato. Avril Lavigne.
Actually, when I don't want to, I think of Demi Lovato.
Hey.
Come on, I just went for the joke there. It was cheap. It was easy.
That was a good one.
It wasn't bad. It was a layup.
That was a good one. I texted you the new Avril Lavigne song called "Bite Me," which I really like.
I actually didn't even listen to it. I have to. I think I was driving when you sent it. And I didn't have a way to. Yeah.
All right. Well, I have 1.5 more things. Perez Hilton's now husband, this guy, Carter Realm, has a 9-year-old child. And the child's mother claims that this guy has wanted no involvement in his daughter's life whatsoever. And she's trying to, through the media, guilt him into having a relationship with his daughter. Why? I don't think that's a good idea. Like, why would you want somebody?
Why would you involve us? You know,
because she thinks that pressuring him publicly will get the desired result that she wants.
We don't know the situation there. We don't know what happened, and it's a family thing, and it just seems small and cheap and misguided. That's what I would say to that.
And I have said this before. Why would you want a parent involved that does not want to be involved?
Yeah, it's true.
It makes no sense to me, but I wish them well. And Paris does know, it's not a secret to her. In more wacky news, J.K. Rowling has been cut out or not even asked to participate in this upcoming new Harry Potter retrospective that HBO Max is doing, kind of like they did for the Friends cast, that reunion. They're getting back together the original Harry Potter cast.
So the person that put this together doesn't have a part in it. That sounds like a shitty show. Okay, well, like park your beliefs or her wacky whatever sentiments and thoughts
about her because of her transphobic thoughts.
Okay, then that's fine. Park that. If we're doing a special about Harry Potter, she created it. Like this came from her imagination. I cannot possibly see this without her.
Would you say the same if she was also a cut and clear racist that said racist things?
Well, first of all, I don't know exactly her intentions of you're doing this thing again where you say, it's something else.
Okay. All right. Many people.
How could you celebrate Harry Potter
let me pose the question. Many people, even some of the Harry Potter cast, has said that what J.K. Rowling has said is transphobic. let me assume you haven't read any of it, but let's go forth and say you have read it and you, Chris Booker, view what she said as transphobic and hateful.
And I would decide not to watch it.
No, let me just finish the question. If you read what she said and you yourself think it's transphobic and hateful to the trans community, do you think she should be invited to participate in the retrospective if she is that?
But I would not watch.
Okay. If she is racist and said, I think all black
but I would
people,
not watch.
So if
same answer.
Even if you, even if she
yes,
said like
she's the creator of the show, I would want to know, like, why are we doing this show if she's not a part of it? This is her imagination. Listen, everybody has wacky thoughts about this, that, and the other thing in their life.
No, wacky is one thing. Racist is another. I went to that extreme.
Racist is also, many people throw that word around all of the time.
All right.
Okay. Let's not do this. We're out of time. Okay, and let's not do this. What if she did and what if she did that? I know what I know about her now. And I'm saying I can't imagine a Harry Potter special without her being involved with it. I can't imagine it's any good. I probably won't watch. That's all I'll say about it. Let's move on. Because doing this if game is silly to me. It's dumb. It's a waste of my time.
Well, you said if she's racist, you still think she should be on. So
yeah, all right. I wouldn't watch. I like to decide for myself. I don't need other people telling me she shouldn't be on this, she shouldn't do that, or fucking. That's not me.
All right.
My thing is choice. I choose not to watch or watch. That's it.
Yeah. Well, you're also giving a platform to a racist.
If you say so.
I'm not saying she's racist, but you said if she were racist, that she should still be on.
Okay, if you say so. I would not be giving the platform because why? Because I just said I wouldn't watch.
All right, whatever.
You're chasing your tail around.
She would still get paid. She would still be.
I don't care.
All right, whatever.
She's got plenty of money. She's got more money than anyone in the whole fucking country put together.
Let's wrap it up briefly. Tom Holland and Zendaya have confirmed their relationship.
I saw a picture of those two the other day and I was like, I'll be damned. That's who Tom Holland is. Huh,
yeah.
I had no
Although
idea.
That picture, they talk about in a new interview. They did not like that. They felt their privacy was violated when they were photographed by the paparazzi kissing.
I don't think I saw that picture. I saw one that she looked much taller than him. That's what I saw. She towers over him.
She is. And finally, I'm not saying they're back together, but they might be back together. Bradley Cooper and his baby mama, Irina Shayk, were spotted going for a stroll hand in hand, like with their arms interlinked. Not their hands, their arms. Like, how do you express, I know
what you mean? Like interlinked. Yeah.
Yeah.
We know what you mean. Doesn't mean anything. It means that, he has a relationship with the baby mother. I mean, maybe they're together, maybe they're not. They're not like together. A couple to me that I sit and say, God, I wonder if they are or if they aren't. They're really like not that sexy to me. I mean, they're sexy people individually, but as a couple, they're not, it's not like meat for me. I'm not like, ooh, if that makes any sense, because they're both very beautiful people.
I get it. They're not like spicy,
Yeah.
All right, let's take a call.
Hey, Perez and Booker. So I hope you talk about this in today's podcast because I'm just jumping the gun. The Britney Spears calling out Christina for her lack of verbal support towards Britney when Christina was asked questions. Okay. First reaction was, God damn it, Britney, please, can we not restart this beef? The conservatorship is barely a week old of being over with. However, I watched the video with Christina and boy, as someone who is old enough to have matured and someone who is a performer and at least for her own sake, for the own matter of self-preservation, could behave a little bit better for 30 seconds, could be a bit classier. I was really disappointed. I know that Christina is trying to promote her new Latin album. I'm very excited for that. But again, because of her behavior, this all has come to be about Britney again. And Christina could have simply said something. I love Britney. I'm about to perform right now. I'm super happy for her. And maybe I'll talk about it a little bit more when I have a better, calmer moment, but I'm gotta go sing. Thanks, guys. Big kiss.
So there you go. I think that's to the point you started. That's
basically everything I said. Yeah,
everything you said. And
all right.
Listen, and let's say one thing. Christina Aguilera, she's salty. Okay. People know that. I don't think that's like a secret. And maybe it is to people. Maybe
Wait. I got to read you this thing. Can I find it?
Go ahead. I'll play another call if you find it. Hold on. I'll play another call and you find it. Hold on. Go. Just find it.
Hey, this is Haley.
Here, wait. Okay, stop the call. So I'm taking you all way back to the year 2006. This is what Mariah Carey said in response to Christina Aguilera saying in an interview to GQ magazine in June of 2006 that Mariah was, quote, never cool to me. Christina said one time we were at a party and I think she got really drunk and she had just really derogatory things to say to me. But it was at that time that she had that breakdown. So she might have been very medicated. So Mariah responded in epic Mariah fashion by saying the following about Christina Aguilera. I had hoped this is one of the best responses ever. I had hoped that Christina was in a better place now than the last time I saw her when she showed up uninvited at one of my parties and displayed questionable behavior. It is sad yet predictable that she would use my name at this time to reinvent past incidents for her promotional gain. It is in my heart to forgive, and I will keep her in my prayers. That's so good.
One more call here.
All right.
Hey, this is Haley from Tampa, Boston. My call was dropped just a second ago, but I have to agree with Perez on this one. I don't think he's a whack job for saying that Taylor Swift is like family to him. Of course, Booker can't relate because I don't think that you've ever really spoken to her in depth. Perez has.
You all are nuts. Okay. And by the way, there are many, we could dig because there are so many people that go into you on this. Like
they go into me?
Oh my God. That are like, what is wrong with Perez? She's not family. Family is someone.
I didn't say that she was family.
Even like family. Like implies that you treat them the same way you would, you have the expectation of the same way you would with your mother or your sister. You don't have that expectation with Taylor Swift.
I'm hearing this supportive call. So thank you.
Well, if you want me to dig, we could waste more time, but there's a lot of people that were just like,
let me hear one.
He's a nut job.
Let me hear.
Hey, this is Sarah from Canada. I'm just calling to say I've been listening to the show for a while, and I've been loving the website before this was a podcast. I'm not going to be long, but I also wanted to say that Booker, that voicemail was actually quite long, so there you go. Also, just a quick question for you again. I know you love Schitt's Creek. I was wondering if there's any.
Yeah, I don't care. It's a great show. Probably looking for other shows. I'll find you other shows. Hold on, let me find another one here. Trust me, there were quite a few.
All right, let me hear one.
I'm trying.
Hey guys, my name is Leo from Boston, and I just wanted to say that I listen to you guys all the time. Perez, I love you so much. I've obviously been following you for a very long time, and I've hated you. I've loved you. And I just think it's great. I think you're great. Booker, obviously I am new to listening to Booker.
Gotta hate me.
Not a fan.
Yes.
If I'm being completely honest. I'm not a fan on your coverage on the Free Britney movement.
Well, you're a whack job.
And I believe that you.
I don't care. I want to find. I got to find at least the other side of this Taylor Swift stuff. Hold on. I mean, I'm telling you, people went deep into you on this one. They were funny. There were a couple of them that started out pretty good.
Hey, my name is Jamie. I'm from California. I just
it's a little loud.
And call you guys real quick. This is my first time. I love you guys.
Thank you.
Booker, love you, but why do you always have to shit on?
This is another one for you.
I love it. I love it.
I don't think that's an absurd thing for him to say. Like, it's his opinion. If you do feel that way, just keep that to yourself. We don't always need to hear you shit on Perez about every little thing. Let him be.
I'm letting him be. He's a maniac, and you're completely a maniac as well.
I love all the support I'm getting.
Yes,
Thank
all
you.
2 of them. Hold on. I must find one. I should have marked
I'm
them.
just wondering who's going to tell Perez that Taylor Swift didn't send him anything, that her PR team sent him something, which is a lot more than her PR team sent me, but I don't really care about Taylor Swift.
Do you?
Also, the fact that Perez gets so offended about any time Booker calls him out on little things. I know Perez has a need to be validated and loved and feel important, but it's a little bit much, and sometimes I feel like you should calm down.
So there's one, and
All
there
right,
were a
well,
couple
first
of
all,
few.
Do you really? Okay, first of all, Taylor Swift is an A+ lister, and
Exactly, and you consider her like family.
And she knows that anybody that she sends those things to, that could get out there, that they'll share that on social media.
Yeah,
so she's
yeah.
aware. She knows
I agree
the
with
list.
you. I actually agree with
knows the
Perez.
list.
She knows, and she knows who Perez is, and she clearly knows that Perez is a fan. But if she truly knows, she would say, I'm going to send Booker one too. But no, that never happens because it's all about who she knows. I'm not an asshole. I'm just a realist. But it is an epic album. I do enjoy it, I must admit. Let's wrap this up. We've been talking since Thursday.
Thank you guys. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. We give thanks for you all. If you enjoyed this, share our show and call us 800-721-1185. You can rewind to hear the number. Have a great rest of your week.
Happy turkey, everybody. Take care of yourselves.
See ya. Bye.